There's a dark cloud growing at the end of the road. There's a crowd of people left with nowhere to go. And I get so sick at the sight, it keeps me up at night.
Yo, what's up? My name's Justin Sane. This is Chris number 2. We're from Anti-Flag. We're here to do a deep dive on the song Fight of Our Lives from the record Lies They Tell Our Children. Where do you want to start out?
I think that starting with writing is interesting. We were working with Stevie Ailio, who is a person who's been around Anti-Flag for quite some time now. I think we met him writing American Fall. He's someone that I think we would love to have produce an entire album of Anti-Flag.
Yeah, we've tried, but he's just not available. He's way like a really busy guy.
Yeah. So this one was interesting because we did it virtually.
It's like you do the bridge woes, you go to the last chorus, and then fight for our life. And like maybe if the song doesn't end there, maybe you go, we're in the fight for our life.
We were recording in Pittsburgh. Stevie just had a brand new baby, so we couldn't come together in the room, but this provided the ability for us to do that. And the riff was born in the room, and I think we wrote most of, if not all the lyrics that
day.
So,
that might work.
We're in the fight of our lives. We're behind the lines. Is that what you had?
We're in the fight of our lives.
The wrong side of the lines.
Nowhere to
Run or hide. Do what it takes to survive. The bottom, not test of time. Not what is right. Whoa.
Okay.
I feel so sick at the sight. It keeps me up at night. We're in the fight of our lives.
So that definitely should be either it makes me sick inside or I'm sick at the sight. It keeps me up at night. That's cool. That should be our last line.
Obviously, the war in Ukraine was a big influence on the song lyrically and musically.
Yeah, because it really had just kicked off.
Yeah.
And it was like, a lot of people was like, is it gonna happen? Isn't it gonna happen? Immediately, you could see the devastation. You could see the refugee crisis. Even if you didn't want to write about it, your mind went there and you ended up writing about it. Yeah, which I think comes to what you're going to talk about with this idea of this Czech anarchist collective.
Yeah, and they had written a pretty lengthy piece about what they were feeling and the effects of the Ukrainian war and the refugee crisis there. We have some excerpts from that in the essay for
the liner notes. And so the idea is you go to the source of people who are on the ground, people who are closest to it. And that's what we wanted to do, and that's why looking at people who are dealing with the refugee crisis as it was starting, people who really had a knowledge of what was happening in the region, that's why we really took a lot from that to write the song.
Yeah, I mean, that empathy and that human element, I think, is the backbone of all of the adversity that the song is talking about. So I think it's really the linchpin of the song. So no greater empath and co-conspirator than Tim from Rise Against, who is someone that we've really respected for a long time. We've known since the beginning of Rise Against and even before that. And so bringing Tim on the track was just an extension of that empathy and that collectivity.
And I think too, just to show that we have allies and that we, there is a community that surrounds our music, that surrounds Rise Against his music. I mean, you've got Religion with Brian Baker coming in. We're all cut from the same cloth. We all come from the same background. We all have the same empathy and compassion and concern for other people and for the world. That's what I love about the guests that appear on this track.
The Baker solo is funny to me because I really wanted Brian Baker to play the guitar solo on The Disease on 2020 Vision. And then Justin wrote this incredible solo, and I was like, oh fuck, we gotta use that. And so thankfully I had not reached out to Brian then, but then at the end of the track I was like, this needs a lift, what can we do?
I know, you just said, you were just like sat out in the room, you're like, Yo, we should hit up Baker and see if he wants to to rip something.
Before anybody writes anything, let's send it to him. And they were on tour in Europe, and I think he just recorded something in a backstage room for it.
Sounds great.
Sounds sick. I want to mention the bridge. We worked heavily on the bridge, and that ended up being the section that Tim from Rise sings on. And we struggled with how do we get out of the halftime bridge back in, and we came up with that sound clip piece and really big, almost throwback to the turncoat final chorus that goes to just the cymbal catches.
Good, cool. All right, let's just punch that last crash as a choke, yeah? Okay. Here we go. Exactly.
I thought that was really cool, and there were a lot of tips, the caps to Old Anti-Flag in this song. The lyric and telling you that this is the end.
Right.
I thought that was where too, even in La Prasse Maladi, we have that as well. What the memo says. So that was important to us. Again, we were looking at this as a temple, a mile marker album for Anti-Flag, it being our 13th. Not a lot of people get this far, and so we're really grateful to still be here and still doing it. And so we wanted to kind of pay homage to the stories that were told before, and that have shaped us to be the band that we are today. And I think there are a lot of examples of that throughout Lies They Tell Our Children, and in these two songs in particular.
Yeah, definitely. You want to kind of acknowledge where we've been, and now here's where we're going. And so that's a fun thing to do when you're writing a song. It's just kind of cool to look back at how you used to do something and then throw a hint of it in there.
The Fight of Our Lives is out now. Listen loud.
The fight of our lives, crossing over the